ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Okay. Now, I think the 24th verse we completed last time, right?
Correct.
About having the single pointedness of the mind. Yeah. The ability of the mind to remain where you have kept it. Remember, it is not just concentration. Concentration implies a certain force. Okay. That you are forcing the mind to do something. No. This is a natural ability of the mind to pay attention to something. Just pay attention. That's it. Yeah. Just to be awareful, to be conscious, to be deliberate. Okay. That's what being focused here. Okay. Then after this, everything clear? No questions or clarifications, right? If there are any issues, no issues. Yeah.
Swamiji, sorry to interrupt. I can't hear you properly. Can you speak a little louder?
Okay.
I don't know. Your voice is not very.
Okay, no problems. How is that?
Sorry to interrupt.
How is it now? Okay.
Better, Swamiji, better. Thank you.
Because if I speak any louder, you will hear me directly without the need of the laptop. Okay. Okay.
This is fine.
No problem. No problem. Okay. 1 second. Just let me check whether the speakers are okay.
Now, maybe I'm getting a little deaf, age related, so maybe that's the reason.
Okay. Don't worry, I also have it. Anyway, let's start. Okay. In fact, okay. The next verse. Drishtum jagritam vidyat smritam swapnam tadevatu sushuptam tad abhavam cha swatmanam paramam padam. Okay. So he's now, after having talked about the necessity of developing that contemplativeness in the mind, the being able to pay attention, etc., he is doing a little analysis of the waking dream and deep sleep. So there he is saying, okay, drishtum jagritam vidyat. To see things, to know things, to experience things is known as Jagratam, waking state. That is a waking state. Then Smrutam Swapnam Tadevatu. The waking state experiences that you remember when you have gone to sleep, Smrutam, you remember dream state. Because dream state, for all functional purposes, is made of the memories of the waking. Sometimes a little bit mixed up, okay, but still memories of the waking. And Sushuptam tam atad abhavam cha. And what is deep sleep? Tasya abhavam. Drashtu abhavam. In waking you see external objects. In dream you see the remembered objects. And deep sleep both are absent. Both are absent. But he says, you are there to say it is absent. You are there to say that I don't see anything. In the waking, when you see something, you are there very much. You not only see something, you are also aware of the fact that you see. You see the book, you are also aware of the fact that you are seeing the book. In dream, you are only seeing the memory. There is no object there. Functionally valid object for the waking world is not there. And in deep sleep, there is no perception of the object or the memory of the object, but you are there to say, I don't see anything. Waking and dream, I am aware I see something. In deep sleep, I am aware I see nothing. That's why it's called Avastatraya Sakshi, the witnesser of the three states of experience. And he says, Swatmanam Paramam Padam. That is a Paramam Padam. That is a thing to be known. That's the absolute thing to be known. Padyate iti. That is what is to be known. That is a Paramam Padam. That's what we talk about as moksha, etc. Atma Jnanam. Then now he goes. Okay. He is just not doing a very elaborate analysis that he has done in some of the previous sections. Okay. Remember, I am doing this text, this particular chapter, reminding everyone of all that we have done. Okay. So certain things are taken for granted. Okay. Yeah. But it's good for you to remember and check up those things. They're elaborately seen in Mandukya Karika. Very elaborately we saw all that. Yeah. Sushuptyakhyam tamo jnanam bijam swapna prabhodayoho swatma bodha pradagdham syad bijam dagdham yata bhavam. He says, Sushuptyakhyam, what you call as deep sleep, is nothing but tamas, ajnanam. Tamo ajnanam. Tamas, that is ajnanam. That is what you call as deep sleep. Deep sleep is nothing but ajnanam. Okay. And bijam swapna prabhodayoho. That is the seed for dream and waking. Now, this is what the modern mind always finds it difficult. How is deep sleep the seed for dream and waking? For this, we have to understand what exactly we are talking about here. We are not saying your ignorance of deep sleep has created this world. That's not what is being said. That is Maya Shakti, Ishvara's power. What we are talking about is tamas, which is vastu agrahanam, not knowing the reality, not knowing what I am. Because I have ignorance of the self, ignorance of what I really am, I will always have anyata grahanam, mistake myself to be something else. So I will mistake myself as the dreamer, as the waker. What are you? Limitless consciousness, unknown, as in deep sleep. Therefore, in the waking, you will mistake yourself as a waker, finite guy. I have to confront this world and deal with it. Therefore, there will be ragadveshas, Certain things I like, certain things I don't like, certain things I love, certain things I hate. The love and hate are generally supposed to be for people, not for things. But in our exaggerated thing, we always equate them with things also. So, this is it. And since dream is based on the memories of the waking, the same thing continues there. Agrahanam, I don't know myself. Therefore, Anita Grahanam that I had in waking continues in dream also. Anita Grahanam is a simpler way of putting Adhyasa, a mistaken notion of yourself. Adhyasa is nothing but Anita Grahanam, to mistake something as something else. Anyatha, to take it as something else. Grahanam, to take it as something else. What is the simple definition of Adhyasa? Can someone give me that? Simple definition.
Swamiji,
Yeah?
paratra par avabhasa smriti.
Atasmin tadbuddhi.
Atasmin Tadbuddhi is simple, but Kiran's definition is better.
You said sim.
Paratra paravabhasa smriti rupaha purvadrushtaha. That's the full technical. Paratra paravabhasa, to mistake something as something else. That is experienced before, seen before. And smriti tulyaha, it's only a mental projection, not a real thing. Or simply atasmin tadbuddhi, to mistake something as something else. That atasmin tadbuddhi is presented very often as anyata grahana, to mistake something for something else. Therefore, I am the limitless consciousness, but I mistake myself to be a finite being in the waking world and a finite being in the dream world. Mistaken notion. A mistaken notion of what I am. Therefore, bijam syat, that ignorance that is experienced in deep sleep is the cause for Anita Grahanam. That means in deep sleep there is only agrahanam of the reality, non-perception of the reality, ignorance of the reality. And in waking and dream there is agrahanam plus anyata grahanam. Not knowing the reality, ignorance of the reality plus mistaking the reality to be something else. At the individual standpoint, I mistake the reality to be a finite entity. As far as the totality is concerned, I mistake the reality to be this world that I experience. Both levels, it works. Both the levels, it works. Any questions on this, or this is clear? Should be clear, na? Okay. All right. Swatma bodha pradagdam syat. Swatma bodhena, by knowledge of yourself. Pradagdam syat. Pradagdam syat. It gains, it is burnt away, he says. Pradagdam syat. It is completely burnt. What is burnt? The ignorance is burnt. Therefore, what? If the ignorance is burnt, will there be anyata grahanam? Ignorance is cause for anyata grahanam. Therefore, anyata grahanam is gone.
Still there will be
If-
something more to be done.
Yeah, but at the same time, when you know the truth about yourself, does the world disappear? World doesn't disappear. You know the earth is round, but your experience of flatness doesn't disappear. You know the sun never rises or sets, But the sun doesn't suddenly stop there wherever it is. You knew it. At 12 o'clock on a Sunday morning, you understood that the sun doesn't rise on set. That means from that onwards, is it stationary there? Like the old sailor's song. And right over the mast it stood, the bloody sun at noon. And then was a weary, weary time, how glazed his weary eye. For right over the mast it stood, the bloody sun at noon. Water, water everywhere, and not a drop to drink. Water, water everywhere, and all the boats did shrink. Okay, it'll go on, alright? It's called Richard. It goes on. Some 150 verses are there in that. Okay, yeah. Old Man of the Sea, Albatross. Anyway, that apart. So the sun doesn't stop there stationary. Therefore, he gives an example. He says, Bijam yatha abhavam. Bijam dagdam yatha abhavam. Like a burnt seed. You brought some whole moong from the market. Organic moong, because that's now the latest fad. Everything has to be organic. Okay. So you got some nice organic whole moong dal. Green moong you got from the market. And then you roasted them nicely. Okay. You put it in a kadai and nicely roasted them thoroughly. Can you sprout them next night? That night, can you put it for sprouting? Dagdam bijam. It looks the same, but it doesn't sprout. Similarly, functionally things are there, but it doesn't sprout. Anyata grahanam. Ajnanam looks to be there because you can go back to deep sleep. It is not that the wise man never sleeps. People say such nonsense, that once you gain knowledge, ignorance is gone. If ignorance is gone, then deep sleep is gone. Then you'll wonder whether you really want wisdom, because I know all of us enjoy our sleep. Therefore, it is there, but it cannot sprout anyata grahanam. Why? Ignorance has been burnt away. As an upadi, it continues, that's all. So that you can get a good night's sleep. You see the world, you recognize it as consciousness. You see yourself, you recognize the waker as nothing but consciousness. You recognize the dreamer as nothing but consciousness. You recognize the sleeper also as nothing but consciousness. Not in sleep, of course. Because in sleep you have worn the dress of ignorance. Right? Because you want to sleep, you don't want to be thinking. If you start thinking, you will find it difficult to go to sleep. And that's the problem of today's world. Why? During the day you are thinking of so many things, doing so many, running around here, there, TV influence, this influence, social media, all that stuff is there. So when you go to sleep, all the unfinished thoughts keep coming up. If you are thinking, you are not asleep. Therefore you don't want to think. Anyata grahanam not there. Agrahanam only. Simple. Therefore, it is a bijam. Yeah. Ignorance is a bijam. He gives a deep sleep example only to make you understand that ignorance is universally experienced. It's only for that sake that the deep sleep example is given. You don't have to spend time trying to establish there is ignorance. Yeah. Because then ignorance will become pramana siddham, it will become valid. Ignorance is negated by a pramana, not the other way around. Not the other way around. Therefore, ignorance is anubhava siddham, established by your experience. All of us experience it in deep sleep. Anubhava siddham. Okay. When we say anubhava siddham, is it the same way that we say the world is also anubhavam, an experience? When I say the ignorance in deep sleep is experienced by you, is the world of names and forms also experienced in the same manner?
No.
Why not?
No, other five brahmanas will work in deep sleep. No.
Exactly. Therefore, ignorance is objectified by the Sakshi. It is Sakshi Vetyam directly. Whereas in the world, you need a pramana to know things. You always need a pramana to know things in the world, as far as the world is concerned. But both are anubhava siddham. World is pramana siddham, ignorance is anubhava siddham. Even in the world. Only when there is a thought, then pramana etc. comes into the picture. Okay, all right. Therefore, bijam dagdam yatha abhavam.
So could you just elaborate that sentence which you said? When there is a thought, pramanam, etc. comes into
Yeah,
picture.
when you need to produce a thought to see something. This is a book. To recognize this book, I need a thought. Remember, vritti vyapti and phala vyapti, both are necessary. That is gained only by a pramana. You gain a thought, vritti jnanam is by pramana. In a way, Sakshi Vetyam is also pramana, but without the necessity of sense organs, etc.
Swamiji, that is the reason knowledge always takes place in the waking stage.
Yes.
It cannot take place in the deep stage.
Yep. Thank God. Because otherwise my students will say, okay, let us go to sleep. Samjay, you keep teaching. We will go to sleep.
No, same thing for samadhi also. Like people say we go in samadhi and we get knowledge, but it won't work because
Yeah.
there is no vritti vyapti.
Yeah. But remember, at the same time, we have to be careful when we are dismissing that samadhi. Okay, this I never said before because I didn't want you all to be confused. There are different types of samadhi also. In some types of samadhi, you are connecting with the cosmic mind. When you connect with the cosmic mind, you can't download all the knowledge in the cosmic mind. It is not like you got a Wi-Fi and you go into YouTube and downloaded your favorite songs. Continuing that example, can you download everything that's available on YouTube onto your phone? Why not? Why not? Capacity.
Limited.
Yeah, the memory 64 GB, 128 GB, 1 TB, 1 trillion GB, it's still limited. Similarly, your human mind, limited capacity. Can't download everything that is there in the cosmic mind. but certain insights you can gain. So in that type of samadhi, you will gain certain insights. It's not nirvikalpam, it's avikalpam there. Okay? It is avikalpa samadhi. Where by some of the exercises that you do, the sadhana that you do, okay, your third eye is opened, etc. They will say, and you are connecting up. But remember again one thing, you connected up and you got some insight. You connected up, got some insight. You can still have doubts about it. You can wonder, was it my thought or was it something I downloaded? That doubt can always be there, na? Especially if that insight that you got is different from your experience. Is different from the knowledge you already have. Then you'll always get that doubt, this is right or wrong or what? That is why it is not included as part of pramana, because it is not abhaditam. It's only insights. And it is not available for everyone, it's available only for some people. And the biggest problem for people who do this type of sadhana, the biggest problem for that is mixing up your subjective thinking and feeling with what you intuitively see. You will misunderstand the inner reality to be more factual than the outer reality. Big problem that can create. You can be lost in your own world. Because I see there are plenty of things, people are offering these type of things. 99% of them is new agey and false. Some little bit here, there. They will use words like access consciousness and this bar and that bar and all sorts of terms they will use for that. Most of it is new agey and not very valid. Okay? But there are certain practices which are valid. Okay? So in those type of samadhi, you will get some insights. Because intuitive connection is there, but it's not included as a pramana because you can always have a doubt about it. It won't become abhaditam unless you verify it. Unless you verify it. This is what you call people with psychic abilities and things like that. Yeah, I know a yoga teacher who says that. Okay, I'm not running down yoga teachers. Okay, this particular guy says that. If I want to know anything, I just sit down, close my eyes, and I know about it. Yeah, but many things he says are factually not correct. What about that? Many things he says in public, I know is not factually correct. Though I accept he has got some intuitive abilities, I accept that fact. I respect him for that. But this part is also there. So there's always a mixing up happening between your subjectivity and what you intuitively gain. Always there. I have seen every person who says this has this issue. Very few people are really free from that. You start living in your own internal world, thinking that is reality. That's like living in a dream. Yeah, you have to be very careful about this. Because all this is there, you will be exposed to all this thinking. I said, let me bring it in here because the question of samadhi came up. Okay. Yata. Okay. Then little bit further elaboration of that whole thing is doing. Tadeva ekam tridha jneyam maya bijam punah kramat maya vyaptam avikaropi bahude eko jalarkavat. Tad eva ekam, that one alone, tridha jneyam maya bijam punah kramat. Maya bijam ekam maya bijam, one maya, ajnanam. He says, tridha jneyam is manifest as the waking dream and deep sleep. Okay. Punaha, again and again, kramat, in succession they will come. We awake now, asleep, dreaming, waking up, asleep, dreaming. This goes on. In between sleepy and in between dreaming, daydreaming. Okay. That also you can add if you want. But basically three. Okay. Basically, it keeps coming. Okay, Kramat. Maya vyatma avikaropi bahuda ekada jalar kavat. And the Atma, which is the basis for Maya, Maya Vyaptam, the one that pervades Maya, the Atma, that is the basis for Atma. Avikaropi is free from all changes, but Bahuda Eka Jalar Kavat, but appears as many. Like the sun reflected, Arkaha, the sun reflected in Jalam, in various buckets of water. In many buckets of water, the sun is reflected, appears as many. Though really speaking, there is only one sun. Similarly here, one Atma appears as the many because of Maya Shakti. Simple. We have seen all this thing before. Okay, one Maya Shakti makes it doesn't make the Atma many. It makes the Atma appear as though they are many. Because Maya itself is not an independent reality. That says Atma Vyapta. It's pervaded by the Atma. Finding it difficult that Maya is pervaded by the Atma? No. The existence of the Maya is because it exists depending on the Atma. Maya is known as Ajnanam, as Maya Shakti, because of the consciousness that I am. But it has a knack of making the consciousness appear as though it is a finite entity and pluralistic entity. Nana eva bhavati, as though there are many, it appears. Okay. Another example, same idea, but repetition is important in teaching. Why? Because then the idea goes home. If not in this verse, the other verse. Okay, he says, Bijam chaikam yatha binnam prana swapnadi bihi tatha swapna praja jagratreshu tacha atma jalenduva ekam bijam yatha binnam prana swapna bhi tatha. Just as one Maya appears as different states, waking pranaha, swapnaha is dream, adi bihi tata, etc. meaning deep sleep also. Swapna prajagrat sharireshu tatta atma jala induvat. Similarly, in different bodies, in waking and dream, okay, the one Atma appears. The one Atma appears in different bodies. In the waking and in the dream also. And he gives another example, Jala Induvat. Previously he said Jala Arkavat, now he says Jala Induvat. Indu is moon. Jala Induvat, like the moon reflected in different buckets of water. One Atma appears as many. That's all, nothing. Both the verses say the same thing, are saying the same thing. That through different buckets, the sun appears different. Through different bodies and minds, the Atma appears different. The only difference is the bucket is different from the sun. The water is different from the sun. Correct? Here what happens? The body, mind, etc. are all manifestations of the Atma. How?
The Atma is in and through everything.
Space is in and through everything, but there are things different from space.
Swamiji, repeat the question, please.
The bucket, the water, etc. is different from the sun. But the body and mind is not different from the Atma. How?
It is
Because
taken to be different. It is taken as same
How
as
is
Atma.
it one? Taken to be different, fine. How is it one? Tell me that.
It does not have an independent existence, it's mithya. It depends on the Atma for its existence.
How? How do you say that? You are right, but how do you say that?
Because the body mind are mithya. They are mithya, they don't exist
But-
by themselves.
Why is it mithya?
Swamiji, because it is Ishwar Shashti.
It is?
Ishwar Shashti.
Okay.
All is the creation of Ishwara.
Creation of Ishvara. How? Creation of Ishvara meaning it is created from that
5 elements.
consciousness alone.
Yeah.
It is created from consciousness, manifest from consciousness alone. Where do we come across that?
Dvabodha. Dvabodha, they explain the grossification and all that.
It comes everywhere.
Everywhere in all
Satyam jnanam anantam brahma yo veda nihitam guhayam so ashnute sarvan kaman saha tasmad etasmad atmanah akasha sambhutah akashad vayor agni agnirapah adbhya prativim pratibhya oshadeyah oshadibhyo annam tasmad etasmad purushah anna rasamaya. This happens because we ignore theories of creation. Theories of creation are not meant to establish a separate creation. They are meant to show that all of it is manifested from the Atma alone. Otherwise, how can you say it is mithya? Because pot is from clay, you can say pot is mithya. Unless you establish the world is from consciousness, you cannot call it mithya. Kamini, is that clear?
Yes, I'm hearing Swamiji. Yes. Yes.
Because there are two Kaminis. Oh, there is one Kamini Asrani, there is one Kamini Satyani. Okay. Okay. So this is how it becomes only because of that is why the creation theory is brought into the Upanishad. Most Upanishads will have it. Because to show that it is from the consciousness that everything is manifest. Unlike the bucket in the sun.
Swamiji, this creation theories to some extent is supported by science also, no? When they brought the relation between energy and matter, and when after
To some
Einstein
extent, but they don't
established
talk
E is
about, they take it as, the problem is they take it as inert matter. That is where the difference comes in. They don't take it as manifested from consciousness. They talk about consciousness as a product of matter. That's a fundamental difference between what science says and what Vedanta says. So we don't have to make Vedanta scientific. Many modern teachers try to do that. There is if you look at the whole Ramakrishna Mission tradition, for example, they all try to make it scientific. It's not scientific. It's logical, yes. But logic is common to many disciplines, not only science. Economics, there is logic. Management, there is logic. Psychology, there is logic. Logic is tarka, it's common to many disciplines. Why? Even in Charvaka philosophy, mechanical materialism, there is logic. Dialectical materialism of communism also there is logic. So logic can be there in any school. That's why we can logically answer them. And if it's an illogical school, we don't have to answer them. Why? It's illogical. Why do you have to answer them? Unless a bugbear for you in your mind, then you answer them. Okay. So, to say that science and Vedanta is talking the same thing is not true. Because this is a major difference. Now, when you talk of quantum physics, etc., it seems very close to what Vedanta is talking in terms of mithyatvam of the world and everything. That is true. It sounds very close. But there is this fundamental difference that you have to recognize. That in Vedanta, matter is a manifestation of consciousness. Not the other way around as it is in science. Science says matter has to evolve until it can manifest consciousness. That's what they call life. Which I answer by saying, if every event has to have an observer, then you mean to say the observer of the Big Bang evolved 1 billion years after the event? How could you observe that? So you have to say Big Bang is not there. It's a paradox there. Paradoxical there, yeah. You can't be an observer in retrospect with respect to time. They are trying to do that. That is why all those telescopes they are inventing, so they can see the light that has gone from the earth out into space, hoping that one day they will be able to see the Big Bang and say, now you observe the Big Bang. But then you are giving a great reality to light. And instead of taking time and space as absolute, you are trying to take light as absolute. Are you seeing what's happening? You are trying from time and space, which was absolute before 100 years back. Now it's all relative. Time, space is relative. But there is a tendency to take light as that. Though some researchers are trying to prove that the speed of light can vary and there can be some things which can move faster than light. They're still trying to prove its conceptual stage yet. So retrospective observation not acceptable. Okay. It is not yet done anyway. You have not yet captured that light. Not yet done. Not yet done. But that's the attempt that's being made. All those billions of dollars are going into creating those super telescopes to be able to capture that light. Forgetting that light is moving away, okay? Light is not coming closer. Okay, anyway. I don't want to go into a scientific discussion on that. That's not the topic, but this is it. Okay. Okay. Another example for the mithyatvam, okay? Maya hastinam aruhya मायावीको यथा व्रजे अगच्छन्तः तद्वदेवात्मां प्राणस्वप्नादिगोगचलः. Says a Mayavi is a magician, okay, illusionists actually speaking, okay. They were this great hypnotists that were available, okay, in olden India. Now they are not, like Mandrake the magician, etc. That level, okay. Maya hastinam aruhya. This magician will create the illusion of a elephant, Maya hastinam, an illusory elephant, and he'll ride away on it. He'll ride away on it. Okay. Okay. Yeko yatha vrajet. He says the whole thing is Maya. Probably he's not going anywhere, he's just making an illusion. Like, who's that? David Copperfield, the magician? He makes trains disappear, he makes elephants disappear. It's all there only, it's only an illusion that's being created. Similarly, he says, Agachantam tadevatma. The Atma doesn't go anywhere. Why? Why does the Atma not go anywhere?
It is all pervading. How can it?
Yeah, its limitlessness cannot go anywhere. Okay. Therefore, but prana sapnadi go achalaha. It seems to go into waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. You will say, na, I'm going to sleep. किधर जा रहा है? अरे सोने का है. And where are you? You are chatting with people right there and you are going asleep because you are so tired. It's like having a sleepover. You got all your friends over. And then you say, I'm going to sleep. Where? They're all chatting around you, but you are gone. You are too tired. Where have you gone? Physically also you are not gone anywhere. But I'm going to sleep. It looks like that. Though nobody says I'm going to dream. But it happens, you go to dream. You go to a dream world. In fact, someone even say, why did you wake me up? I was enjoying the dream world. Why did you pull me out of it? Pull you out? From where? You are right here. Don't wake me up. Today is Sunday, don't wake me up. I'm going to go to sleep and sleep and sleep. Words used. It does not even go into any state. Atma does not go into any state of waking, dream, deep sleep, samadhi, etc. Does not go. All the states arise in the Atma and get resolved into the Atma alone. Isn't it true? All the states, waking, dream, deep sleep, etc., manifest in the Atma, dies down into the Atma. Janmadhyasya yataha yasmat karnat, from which cause asya jagataha, of this world, janmaha, birth, sthitihi, maintenance, bhangaha or nasha, destruction happens. That is me. I'm sure all of you remember where it has come from. Okay. The second sutra. Yes, the second sutra.
Brahma Sutra.
First says, Athato Brahma Jignasa. After getting all the qualifications, go to a teacher and do Brahma Jignasa. Inquire into Brahman. In Kim Tat Brahma, what is that Brahman? He doesn't say Satyam Jnanam Anantam. He says Janmadhyasya yataha. Why? Then you include the world also. You take account for the world. Otherwise, you don't account for the world. Then you will create duality in the mind. Brahman and world. No. Janmadhyasya yataha. That's why he's saying here, Brahman doesn't go anywhere, Atma doesn't go anywhere, all the states rise in the Atma, die down into the Atma. Exactly like the magician is sitting right here, it makes it appear as though the elephant has appeared and is going away on the elephant. Describing a scene, can be anything. Yeah. न हस्ति न तदारूढः मायाव्यो अन्यः यथा स्थितः न प्राणादि न तत्सृष्टः तथान्यः अन्यसदृशिः न हस्तिः, there is no elephant. न तदारूढः, not the one who is riding it. Arudha, one who is riding it. Mayavi anyaha yatha sthitaha. There is only the Mayavi. The others, the elephant and the one who is riding the elephant are appearances. What is there is only the Mayavi independent. Anya meaning independent. Independent of them, the Mayavi is there. Yatha sthitaha. He is seated right here. The Mayavi, the one who uses that magic. Similarly, na pranani na tadrishtaha. The prana, the world, the experiencer of the world, etc. Na tadrishtaha. Tataha nya anyaha sada drishihi. Similarly, there is only one consciousness. Independent of all of them, always the consciousness. Drishi meaning witness, consciousness. Always a consciousness. If a Maya thing manifests, it is witnessing it. If it is not manifest, it is witnessing the absence of it. All the time. Witnessing is not an action for the consciousness. For you and me, when we witness a scene, you can say there is an action. For you and me, when you witness a scene, you can say there is some sort of role involved. But not for the consciousness. Can you say the sun is illumining the world, really speaking? Sun is there, is a source of light. You come in front of it, you will get lighted up. You will get illumined. Does the sun do anything?
It's not as an action.
Yeah. Does the sun do anything? Sun does nothing. Sun is just sun. I mean SUN, not SON. Okay. That sun is just sun. Not fit by anything else.
It's its nature to illumine.
Just the nature of the sun is to illumine. Finished. You come in front of it, you get lighted up. And the problem with consciousness is you cannot go away. From the sun you can move away. From the consciousness there is no moving away. Where can you move away? You are the consciousness, number one. Number two is limitlessness. Where can you move away? But we seem to move away. In our ignorance, we seem to move away. Out of sheer ignorance. Because I don't know my true nature, I seem to move away. I don't know myself. When you say, I don't know myself, or I want to know myself, you are creating an apparent subject-object thing there. Apparent, out of ignorance. And because the teaching is to get rid of your ignorance, it presents Atma as something to be known. Atma vare drashtavyaha, command is given. Shrotavya mantavyaha nididhyasitavyaha. But Atma is what? Nyaswarupaha, Nyatra Swarupaha. The Swarupa of the knower, not something to be known. Is Nyatra Swarupa. But since the Jnata, the knower, is ignorant about himself, it has to be presented as something to be known. It's only a presentation, taking into account your ignorance. Therefore, really speaking, you can't even say state of ignorance and knowledge. Well, you know you are ignorant. Therefore, ignorance is objectified by you. You are independent of that ignorance. We saw one verse like that, remember? Ganachanna drishtihi ganachanna markam yatha manyate chati moodaha स नित्योपलब्ध स्वरूपोहम आत्मा. याद है? किया था?
दो बार किया था.
हस्तमानकम. Yes, in that camp, January में, end of Jan, last weekend of Jan. Ganachannam. My eyes are covered by the cloud, and I say the sun is covered. And if you say that, you are an ati moodaha, he says. Similarly, I say I don't know myself when my ignorance is lighted up in my light. The sun's light illumines the cloud. You see the cloud in the light of the sun. You see your ignorance in the light of the consciousness you are. नायम आत्मा अतीव अविषय अस्मत् प्रत्यय विषयत्वात्. अध्यास भाष्य. The Atma is not totally unknown to you because it is known as the I. I know I am, I only don't know what I am. I know I am. No doubt about I am, I exist or not. Do you need any logic to show I exist? Your existence is self-evident. What you are, you don't know, that's all. That's why everyone relates to that song. Bulla na jane मैं कौन हूँ. बुल्ला ना जाने मैं को. Everyone relates to that. हाँ बराबर है. मैं भी नहीं जानता. He knows what he is not. I am not Adam, I am not Moses, I am not this, I am not that. Correct है. Yeah. Then you'll have to say, अरे जी ओ जी बैठ के पढ़ो जरा. तस्मास विज्ञानार्थम गुरुमेवाभिगच्छेत् श्रोत्रियम ब्रह्मनिष्ठम. All that comes into the picture. Because of this, all the thing comes into the picture. Yeah. Okay, tata sada drishhi. अबुद्ध चक्षुषा नास्ति माया माया विना पिवा. बुद्धक्षस्यैव सा माया अमायावेव ततो भवेत्. अबद्ध चक्षुषा, one who is vision is not covered. Maya mayavinam api nava. There is neither the magician nor the magic. If you are not under the spell of that magic, remember, magic is very different from self-knowledge. You may be a great yogi. It happened to this yogi. He went somewhere and he was talking about how he can see things very clearly. And a magician played a trick on him. Well, just a trick. Your mind can fall for it. Because the magic, that's what magic trick is about. No? That's what magic trick is about. So then the yogi had a problem. Now we have to explain how he falls for that trick. That's why he says, Abadda Chakshuhu. One who knows the secret of that magician. Another magician. Who knows how that illusion is created. Who knows how that illusion is being created. I know the reality, but that doesn't mean I know how the illusion of that disappearing elephant is created. I don't know that. Unless I have seen a lot of TV episodes on revealing the magician's secret. There was a TV show like that, revealing the magician's secret. Very interesting. How the elephant disappears, how people walk through walls, all these illusions. That's why you'll notice every magician requires a background to set up. You ask him to walk through this wall right here, he will not be able to do it. He has to create that illusion, then he can do it. So they're all tricks of the trade. The one who knows the tricks of the trade, another magician, he says, Abadda, that is Abadda Chakshuhu. Not a yogi or a wise person. Okay, in this context you have to understand this. Yeah. Otherwise you will think tomorrow for Vedic Wisdom Festival we will call a magician to talk about the power of illusion, let us say. And then you will say, Swamiji, how is that trick being done? Don't ask me, ask him. I am not a magician. Yes, I can only do this magic. Make the book disappear when you are seeing the book. Why? The book is nothing but pure consciousness. You are seeing the book, yes. Where is the book? There is only pure consciousness. That I can do. I can't do any other magic, okay? Yeah. Other magic can't be done. This magic can be done. Okay. Therefore, Abudda Chakshaha, Abadda Chakshuhu, one who knows the secret of the whole thing. There is no Maya or Mayavi, both is not there. The Mayavin api Nava is not there. Then Baddha Chakshusa Sa Maya, Maya eva Tato Bhavet. He says it's only for the people who are Baddha Chakshu, whose eyes are bound, who don't know the secret thing, that Maya, etc. appears to be there, that the magic appears to be there. That means the magician himself is creating that whole thing because of your ignorance of the trick. Because you don't know how it is to be done, because of that the whole thing appears. Out of your ignorance alone, the whole thing is created. Similarly here, out of self-ignorance, the whole thing is created. That's why Ishvara is called Mayavi. Maya tu prakritim vidyat, Mayinam tu Maheshwaram. किधर सुना है ना? माया तो प्रकृति विद्या, मायिनम तो महेश्वरम. किधर सुना है? Where have you heard this? I'm deliberately doing this, okay, so that you'll think, you'll remember all the past lessons. Because if you have to go ahead, we have to remember. Gitaya, okay, yeah. Maya to prakritim viddhi, mayinam to maheshwaram. Okay, yeah. Now don't ask me, Swamiji, which chapter, which verse, that you can find out. Yeah, I told you the book already, okay. And now remaining searching you can do. Okay. Mayinam to maheshwaram. Okay. Therefore, that is why that the whole example of the Mayavi, etc. is being brought in only to show this. Out of ignorance alone, the whole creation is there. What is there is only one reality. If you know the reality, what is there? Then you enjoy the magic show. You mean to say another magician cannot enjoy the magic show? Let us say there is a conference of magicians. Why not? You can have conference of any people. Yeah. So, this is a conference of magicians. And one character is putting up a show. The others may know how it is done, but they still enjoy the thing. No? Can it not happen? Nicely it was done. Very difficult to catch him through that. Public will never know how he is doing it. I know what, I enjoy it. The same way, the world is there, it's nothing but consciousness. You can enjoy it better. Without worry, anxiety, without a sense of finitude, without it becoming too much for you, without you getting lost in it, without all that you can enjoy it. That's a great way to enjoy it. It's a great way to enjoy it. Without getting addicted to it, without being afraid of it. Because sometimes we are too restrained. No, all that will involve me, so I should remain away. It's good. If you think it will involve you too much, remain a bit away. But if you see the mithyatvam of it, how can it involve you? The world is all maya, one has to be careful. If he really knows it is mithya, why do you have to be careful? What is there to be careful? That is like saying, Swamiji, that rope is mithya, that snake is mithya, but be careful, okay? If the snake is mithya, why should I be careful? So when you are saying be careful, that means what? Man mein doubt hai. Mithyatva nishchaya is not clear. Why? Satyam is not clear. Satyam is not clear. If you know it is a rope, not a problem. Then you can enjoy that snake. If you are from Mallu land like me, you will enjoy a real snake also. Okay. That's a different thing. That's a different thing. Because the time when I was young and we were in Mallu land in Kerala, we are going for a walk, the snake is also going for a walk. So what is the problem? Rishikesh may be aisa hi tha in our ashram, not now. That's why we put some tiles and everything, chopped off all the shrubs and all, because there were too many snakes. You're sitting and having a lunch and the snake comes out and sees whether it can get some lunch. Yeah, so we'll catch it by the tail and take it out and put it on. That's a different thing. That's not what we are talking about. Here we are talking about the mithyatvam of it. Once that mithya thing is clear, and that will be clear only when satyam is understood, then not an issue. Abaddha chakshu. For the baddha chakshu, when your eyes are covered with ignorance, the world is a problem. The world is a problem because of your sense of finitude. Not otherwise. Otherwise, there are few things to be done. There are certain things to be taken care of. Swamiji, you said world is mithya. So I went without my mask into the marketplace and I ended up with COVID. No. You don't have COVID. You are nothing but consciousness. Consciousness cannot get COVID. Your body and the COVID that's affecting the body, both are manifestation of consciousness. Can you take it like that? It's true. But I don't want this body to be affected by that COVID. Then follow the precautions. As simple as that. You don't have to be scared about it. You don't have to be worried about it. You only have to take some precautions. And there's no guarantee that with the precautions it won't come to you. Fate can play his own jokes, Fate can play his own jokes. Karma phala can play his own jokes. But he'll be able to laugh at it. Like during my Sare Sati, Shani as you call it, I woke up from sleep with a ligament tear. I started laughing when the doctor told me that. I said, I'm asleep, how can it get you? How can you tear your ligament in sleep? And that also my leg. And I have quite powerful legs. He's done a lot of martial arts, lot of trekking, etc. Therefore, they're pretty strong. You can't get a ligament tear just like that. Karma, if it has to get you, it will get you. This is all at the body level. You laugh at it because you know the mithyatvam of the thing. It's all mithya. You're Satyam. You can enjoy the world. How can you enjoy COVID? See what's happening. How can you enjoy the ligament tear? Chalo, 1 week no running around. Aram karo, ghar mein baith ke. Put your leg up. Good excuse to catch up on your reading, catch up on what the TV serials you have missed, all that. Good idea. Because other time you're too busy to do all that thing. So now do all those things that you're too busy to do. Enjoy it. What about the pain, etc.? Pain is there. Big deal. So, once that mithyatva nishchaya takes place, is not a problem. It is something to be dealt with. Why? Because you are still manifest as a human being. This limitless consciousness is still manifest as a human being. So, this body and mind is still there. That enjoying the world, dealing with the world, with this knowledge is Jivan Mukti Avastha. Great way to be. In fact, I don't know how to live otherwise. How else do you? Otherwise, all suffering and worry and anxiety and misery. So you learn to manage your anxiety, misery, etc. through Karma Yoga Buddhi. That is management. Through certain attitudes. Amanittam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa, Kshanti, Arjavam, etc. To courage, etc. Important. Nayam Atma Balahine Labhya. All that statement are meant for that. All the thing is managing the issue. You manage the issue. You manage it. And then you come to the learning and you get freedom. Because it's exactly like the snake that you see is mithya. You know it, but your friend doesn't know it. Now there is worry and anxiety in that friend. So when there is worry and anxiety in the friend, where is he going to see the rope? He is too worried. He is too anxious. If you put on the torch and show him, he'll say, where did that snake go? It must be somewhere around. So that worry, anxiety, past trauma of having been bitten by a snake, even though it was a water snake, all those things have to be handled. And then show him, hey, champ, it's only a rope. Really? Dekho na. Here, let me put my torch on. Arey yaar, maybe kya pagal tha. What an idiot I was. That is called realization. What an idiot I was. Yeah. Yeah. But was implies something that I am not that now. Yeah. I was, not now. Very positive. Yeah. So that is the whole thing. That's all that has to be done. That's why that preparing the mind, etc., is given so much of importance in Vedanta. Because when the mind is full of worry, anxiety, grief, etc., is not going to see it. Full of ragadveshas, full of biases. Whether that bias is a religious bias, secular bias, whatever bias, too full of bias, if it's ruled by biases, you cannot see. If it's your background, it is okay. That much is all right. But too much of bias, you cannot see. So, that handling of all that mind becomes important. Any questions, clarifications? Or it's all clear? This is all revision, okay? We are doing revision now of all that we have studied in this text. That's why I picked up a chapter like that. They'll bring in everything. First I thought I will do Tattvamasi here. But then I realized Tattvamasi I had done with you all a lot of times from various angles, various vakyas I picked up. So I said, let me pick up this which will sum up all the knowledge of all the learning. Only then we can go ahead for some more advanced texts. Okay, at a good place to stop, because after this some self-knowledge etc. starts. So again a different topic starts after this. So it's a good place to stop, and we have done quite a few verses from 24 to 31. Yeah. Okay. So have a good time, enjoy yourselves. I enjoyed being with all of you.